Bobby Deol, even with the limited screen time he had in Animal, has garnered massive critical acclaim for his portrayal of the antagonist of the 2023 Sandeep Reddy Vanga film. Abrar Haq possesses countless similarities to the lead character of the film Ranvijay Singh Balbir in terms of attitude, looks, and motivations. Both the characters have their own set of differences which diminish by the end of the film, which might have been the director's way of implying that the love for their respective father and grandfather lead both of these characters down a very similar path of violence. Even the way Abrar's introduction is picturized in the film is a visual representation of how Ranvijay and Abrar are more similar than different, with the former's face literally transitioning into the latter's. Even the BGM used in the scene in which Ranvijay catches up to Abrar on the runway in Scotland is titled Animal Meets Animal, implying that both of these characters are actually the animal. Abrar Haq's primary motivation in the film is to kill Balbir Singh and destroy Swastik Steel.
तेरी जिंदगी का मकसद क्या है? स्वास्तिक और बलबीर चाचा को खत्म करना.
We don't get to see Abrar's backstory play out on the screen, but we get a dialogue explaining how Abrar lost his voice. Towards the end of the film, we have Ranvijay's grandfather give us the entire story. Abrar's grandfather was one of the founding fathers of Swastik Steel. But due to him being dishonest with his work, he was kicked out of the company. Even though he moved to another country, the humiliation of getting kicked out of the family business was something that he could not cope with, leading to his eventual suicide. Abrar's father made an attempt to get back into the business or at least acquire his share of the business but was denied by Balbir Singh. The tragedy of the character of Abrar is not only that he lost his grandfather, someone who was quite dear to him, but he witnessed him burning to death. Something that traumatized him to the point that he lost his ability to speak. Abrar Haq is shown to be quite wealthy in the film, with his wives talking about how his wealth was the reason she got married to him.
Acha, tell me frankly, why did you marry this guy?
I married him because he can't talk. I prefer peace in a relationship. What about you?
He's loaded.
And also we get to see his private plane, his mansion, his cars, and we get an idea that he's a very rich man, which implies that Abrar's motivation to assassinate Balbir Singh and destroy Swastik Steel is not coming from his greed for money, rather simply the desire to avenge his grandfather's death. The hatred he has for Balbir and his father is stronger than any greed for money or power, or his own share in Swastik. Hence, the only motivation behind all of Abrar's action is vengeance. If we take into account the classic Bollywood revenge film template, Abrar was the child who witnessed his grandfather's death due to a rich man. From Balbir Singh's point of view, Abrar's father had no right in Swastik Steel. But from Abrar's point of view, he deserved his share in Swastik Steel, which he was denied by Balbir Singh. So even if we can conclude that Abrar's father and grandfather were con men who betrayed their own brothers while working with them, we cannot expect Abrar to have his logical and rational thinking dominate his pursuit of revenge. Abrar Haq was kicked out of his family business, displaced from his country, watched his grandfather burn to death, lost his ability to speak. Hence, if we follow Abrar's side of story, Abrar Haq follows the classic Bollywood revenge film anti-hero template. Considering all the tragedies faced by Abrar, it is fair to assume that he is a mentally disturbed person. For Abrar Haq, the only true connection or love he has is towards all of his brothers. And based on the film, women in Abrar's life are only objects of pleasure and carrying his babies. Abrar's pursuit of vengeance is not only his but is also passed down to his brothers, as we see Asrar and Aziz lay down their own lives for this mission. Abrar Haq is a short-tempered, erratic, hyper-violent man, shaped to be this way by his chaotic and traumatizing childhood. Abrar's life's mission is to avenge his grandfather's death. Therefore, even when Vijay offers to spare his life and wants him to promise that he'll not come after Balbir Singh, Abrar, maybe in his ego or maybe with the awareness that his life is nothing without this pursuit of revenge, accepts his own death over compromise. Abrar Haq had the potential of being one of the most sinister, disturbing, and yet sympathetic villains of Bollywood. It is said that there were scenes shot showcasing Abrar's backstory, but in the final cut of the film, we never got to see those scenes. But with the limited screen time, Abrar Haq became what should have been one of the greatest villains in Bollywood, but ended up being a huge missed opportunity.